千里之行，始于足下. A journey of 1,000 miles begins beneath the feet. We now gather in the Tao to travel the journey together. Welcome to Tao Talks with Derek Lin, where we delve deeply into the Daodejing by Lao Tzu. I want to take a moment to focus on this whole idea of practicing the Tao humbly. This is something that I mentioned how important this is, how central this is to the Tao. We have seen it in previous chapters. Here it is reiterating in a different form. So I want to bring in another sage to share with you what he has said about this whole concept of practicing the Tao in a very humble way. This is Mencius, Mengzi in Mandarin. So there's something very interesting and meaningful that he said about the proper mindset to cultivate the Tao. It looks like this. And I know it doesn't make any sense to you. That's okay. I'm going to explain exactly what it means. So this is a saying from Mencius, Mengzi. So before we dive into it, I want to point out, as we usually do, some repeating characters. So first of all, let's pick out the easy ones. If you look at the second character that's repeating per line, hopefully you recognize this. This is the character for person or people. It can be singular or plural. The character right next to it is the character for no or not. This is a negation character. So forget about the other characters for the moment. Let me talk about the first character in this second part. This character, fan, means to reverse. Here, it means to turn your gaze inward, to reverse your gaze from looking outward to looking inward, to reverse the gaze, to reflect and review upon your life. And then we have another repeating character here. This is a possessive character. So it can, depending on the context, it can be its, their, his, her, your, mine, etc. Okay, with those characters out of the way, we can now go line by line. 爱人不亲，反其人. That's the first line. 7 characters. A collection of 4 characters, followed by a collection of 3 characters. What does it mean? Some of you guys already know that the first character is love. So if you string them together, love, people, know, something. Well, here's what it means. If you are loving to people, but they do not get close to you, 亲 means dear, D-E-A-R, dear, like dear to the heart, close to the heart. If you are loving to people, but they do not get close to you, well, what I would say is that you're doing something wrong. What Mengzi would say is that you should reflect on your benevolent compassion. Okay, let's do the rest, and then I will explain the entire context of this. Then we have 治人不治，反其治. The second line, what does it mean? If you try to lead people, but they do not follow your lead, well, reflect on the wisdom of your leadership. And then lastly, 理人不答，反其敬. What does that mean? If you are courteous to people, but they do not respond in kind, reflect on the sincerity of your respect. So I want everyone to look at all 3 lines together and get the overall mentality, the overall idea, the overall paradigm. Is that the default assumption is your practice is flawed in some way, that there is a missing piece in your cultivation somehow, Why? Because human understanding, human wisdom can be woefully limited sometimes. It is why our theories are not perfect. It is why we sometimes forget the discipline necessary to achieve human perfection. When we cultivate the Tao, the more we cultivate the Tao, the more we need to self-reflect. Thus, if you are loving to people, but somehow they're not getting close to you despite the love that you are putting out, then it's time to reflect on your benevolent compassion. Are you expressing it? Is it authentic? Are you genuinely feeling it because people can detect something that is fake and they will react accordingly? Therefore, the default assumption is that there may be something wrong in what you originate, and that's why you get back something that's not what you expected. If you try to lead people, but they're not willing to follow your lead, well, then you have to take another look at the leadership that you are providing to them, that you're offering to them. They may disagree with what you think is a wise course of action. It's time to take another look at that. So again, the more you are able to perfect the Tao and the virtues, the more you're going to be thinking and reflecting about what you're doing that is maybe imperfect or incomplete. So lastly, if you are giving people a lot of courtesy, but they're not courteous back to you, they're rude, well then, you need to reflect on the sincerity of your respect. It may be that you are insincere, and when people detect the phoniness, the fakery, they respond in kind. They don't respond to what you do, they respond to what they perceive as real. So all of these together, you can see, even though Mencius is supposed to be in the Confucian tradition, what he says has an exact correspondence to the first 4 lines of Daodejing 45. Our meeting has come to an end, but the journey continues on. Let us travel safely. Until next time, may the Tao fill you with peace and happiness.